So I'm definitely working overtime today. I'm going to be bringing a video to you all that a lot of you all may be familiar with already. A lot of you all may not even know that this video exists. Either way, there's a couple of points that I want to make with this video. One, this is to double down that for those of you out there that are still feeling like Diddy is being railroaded or they're setting him up because of him calling out or beefing with the liquor company. Nah, bro, like this stuff is really happening in the industry. It's been happening for a long time. And it's not just about money grabs. I know the story just recently came out of the young lady who was caught being bribed to lie about her experience with Diddy or something like that. And that's unfortunate, but that's going to happen at times. But that doesn't discredit all the people, men and women, that have experienced abuse in the industry. And one of those people is a woman by the name of Nikki Heaton. If y'all remember her, she had the biggest song I know her for, I believe. It's the song she had with the Migos a few years ago. And she came out and she doesn't have a lawsuit. She doesn't have a civil lawsuit or a criminal lawsuit. So this isn't about money. This isn't about attention. But I want you all to take a listen to what she said on, I believe she was on Instagram Live. This was a couple of months ago. So again, this isn't necessarily new, but it's a reason why I'm bringing this video up. Listen to what she experienced one night she was invited to the studio where not only Diddy was, but it was Diddy and Kanye West. So Kanye is not in the clear, and Kanye could have some serious stuff coming down the line as well. I want you to take a listen to what she experienced with Diddy and Kanye when she went to the studio with, she was with this woman by the name of Lauren Pisciotto, who was Kanye West's assistant at the time. And after you watch the video, I have some very serious questions that are going to be a little bit different from the other videos I've covered. It's not that I don't believe Nikki. I believe that it happened. But I have questions for her and Lauren that just makes me feel skeptical about some of this. And if they're wanting some of this, it's just confusing to me. Not her in particular. But let's watch the clip and then I'm going to see you on the other side. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the other side with my questions.
The music industry is evil as people say it is. And I was like, it's more evil than you could possibly imagine. I was 19 years old, like I had just left home, and working with my manager, and we were in LA and doing all these crazy things. And all of a sudden, I got a call one day, and it's like, hey, like Kanye wants you to come to the studio. And we walk in, and there's all these ladies there wearing their club gear, and Kanye and Diddy are already like out of their fucking mind, just like completely fucked up, drunk, but probably something else. And Diddy hands me a drink, Kanye hands Lauren a drink, and we're like, that's weird. Like, why are they serving us? Diddy kept looking at me, and Kanye kept looking at Lauren, and like they were exchanging glances, and I'm like, they're like watching me strangely. And I'm like, okay, let me pretend to drink, and like I'm not actually doing it. And like that seemed to like make them happy, like me like pretending to like join in. And immediately I'm like, there's something fucking in this drink. There's something in this drink. And I didn't know what to do. And I like, my manager was like across the room, but like close enough, but like not next to me. So I couldn't like whisper to her, but I wanted to tell her, I'm like, hey, don't fucking drink this. There's something wrong with this. But I couldn't. So I reach for my phone and I start to type, and Kanye takes the phone out of my hands and he's like, who are you texting? Like, you don't need to text anyone. Like, we're having a party. And I was like, okay. And he like puts it on one of the speakers. And I'm like, fuck, now what do I do? Like, I don't know what to do. And I see my manager take a sip and I'm like, fuck. Like, fuck. Now what do I do? And then I see her take another sip. 2 sips out of this little vodka cranberry cup. And I'm like, oh, what do I do? 2 sips, and I watch her face flush. And all of a sudden, like I look over and she's speaking really loud and like making jokes. And I'm like, whoa, like this isn't her. Like she doesn't make jokes. She's fucking terrified of people. Like she doesn't even talk. And I was like, it's already hitting her. Like 100%, I just knew that the drinks were all laced with something. And she starts like almost being like belligerent a little bit, but not in like a crazy way, just like really enjoying herself. And I'm like, that's not her. That's not her. She doesn't even want to be here. Like, this is weird. And all of a sudden she like dismisses the studio host. Like, she's like, you can leave. And I'm like, oh my God, like what's going on? And the girls file out. They go to like a different studio, or they go somewhere. And I'm like, I have to do something. I have to do something. What do I do? And I go to get my phone where Kanye put it on one of the speakers. And as I'm going to get it, I turn and my manager's walking out. And I'm like, no. Like, where are you going? I'm already seeing people being like, this is cap. What do I have to gain? Let me just ask you, what do I have to gain? I'm in a fucking farm in the middle of nowhere. I'm not in the industry anymore. I'm not filing a lawsuit, so I'm not getting paid. I'm not looking for clout, because who gives a fuck about me? So why would I lie about this? Yeah, so I see her start to leave. And I'm like, where are you going? And she's like, it's fine, I'm just going to the bathroom. And I was like, no, stay. And she's like, it's right there, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom. And I was like, okay. And she walks out. And all of a sudden, I realize that I'm in this studio. The music's low, the lights are dim, but you can still like see everything. And I realize that I'm in the studio with Diddy and Kanye, and they're both off their shit. And there's 3 other men, an executive that works with Kanye, his engineer, and his cousin, and me. Alone. Kanye and Diddy have realized that I'm the only girl in the room. And they're like fucked out of their minds. And they start coming towards me and they're like, don't you want to take your clothes off? Like, it's so hot in here. And I'm like, no, fine. I'm fine like this. And they're like, come on, like, it's just us. Like, we're all just friends. Like, let us just like see like how you look. And I'm like, okay, I'm fine. And like, I still haven't gotten scared yet, you know? Like, I'm still like, this is a bad situation. I'm creeped out, but like, there's no reason to panic. There's other men here and they're coming towards me more and they're trying to like take my clothes off. And I'm like at that point where I'm like, this is not good, but I'm like still trying to like play it off. Just like, stop, you guys are fucking stupid. Like, get out of here. Like, don't touch me. And I start to get a little bit apprehensive because I'm pretty much like backed up against the wall. Like, there's only one exit and I'm pressed up against this door. And I'm still not completely terrified yet, but I'm like, you guys stop. Like, stop. And they're getting to the point where they have like ripped my shirt off. And like, I'm like almost fully exposed at this point. And they're both coming at me. And I'm like, you guys, like, seriously, this isn't funny anymore. And I look to my left where his executive is. Like, we know him pretty well. Like, we've been around him a lot. He's literally 3 feet away from me. Like, if I reached and he reached too, like, we could touch. Like, he's that close. And I look and I'm like, hey, like, I give that look where I'm just like, come on, like, step in. Like, this isn't cool. Like, you're a grown man. Like, you're like 50 years old. I know you have a family. Like, you know this isn't right. Like, do something. And this is the part that for as long as I live, I will never fucking forget. It isn't actually the aspect of being sexually assaulted. That's not what haunts me. It's this. It's as these 2 grown men were pawing at me, trying to take my clothes off, I look over to this man asking for help, and I literally mouth the word help. And we lock eyes. And he looks away. I'm like, okay. There's still 2 more men in the room. And I look to his engineer next, who's sitting right next to him. And I know that he's married and he just had a little baby girl. And I'm like, okay, he's gonna do something. And I look at him next and I'm like, okay, like, do something, say something, do anything. And he looks down at his phone and starts texting. And then I was like, oh, fuck. I look at Kanye's cousin next. And I'm like, do something, you know, like, fucking do something. And he spins his chair around. And that's when that, like, gut-wrenching fear set in. And I was like, oh, shit. No one's fucking saving me tonight. No one's gonna do anything. No one's gonna do fucking anything. And that's when I was truly fucking scared. At this point, they had ripped my shirt off, and they were trying to get my pants off. And I realized that I was completely alone. And I closed my eyes for a second. And I was like, God help me. What do I do? And as my eyes were closed, this is going to sound weird because I bet a lot of you are wondering, like, how the fuck did you get out of this situation? My eyes were closed, and I prayed, and I said, God help me, what do I do? And it was like clear as day. I heard this in my head, and it didn't make any sense. I heard, go towards them. And I was like, oh, fucking great. The one time I asked God for help, Satan answers, because why the fuck would I go towards these two predators who are sexually assaulting me? Like, why would I do that? And then all of a sudden it clicked. My back was up against the glass wall. I could not go any further back. That was the only exit. He said, go towards them. They were already drunk off their shit. They were fucked up. So I lunged forward. I stepped forward, and it like threw them off balance. Like they were like, oh, you know, and like they stepped back at least 1.5 feet. And the moment that they did, I reached behind my back, I pulled the door, and I slipped out, grabbing my clothes. And I ran across the hall, across this corridor, and I hid inside of an empty studio that was black. And I sat there for like 20, 25 minutes. Eventually, I got us both out, and I got us in an Uber. And what about all those other girls?
All right, you've seen that, you heard that. Terrifying story. Do I believe her? Yes, I believe her. I believe that happened. But I have questions. Let's start with Lauren Pisciata. Lauren's Kanye West's ex-assistant, who is now suing Kanye West. This is confusing to me. It's not about blaming the victim, because a lot of people come up with these victim shaming and things of that sort. No, I just have legitimate questions for a human being. It's the music industry, first and foremost. Even if you're so naive and you choose to believe these celebrities and you worship them and you want to assume the best about them, what's confusing to me is a lot of these people in the industry have all this sex appeal about them. Like, you're dressing half naked, you're resembling and putting on makeup and positioning yourself to look like the Kardashians. And I mean, you're working for a man who is publicly married to a woman who comes out almost as naked as legally possible. Like this is literally what they do for a living. He was married to a woman who became famous off of a sex tape. It's confusing to me as a very attractive woman, regardless if you see you know that you're attractive. It's just confusing to me that, I mean, sure, you shouldn't turn down a job that you can make good money from, but it's like, okay, let me get this straight. You're going to be his assistant, which requires you to do what exactly? Look pretty, fetch things that he tell you to do. I just have questions about stuff like that, because it's not that I'm saying that gives you the right to be assaulted. Absolutely not. Let's be clear, because you're going to have people in the comment section that are going to, oh, what are you saying that gives? No. What I'm saying is, I look at people like that who are looking for an opportunity, either to like legitimately be with these celebrities in relationships for clout, money and fame and come up, or they have other motives and they just wait for something to go wrong so that they can scream abuse. This is one of those situations with Lauren in particular. Not that I'm not believing her either. I'm just side-eyeing her a little bit, because the difference between her and Nicki is Nicki was like, she came to the studio in baggy clothing. Like, I believe, even though she has several pictures of her out there, she dressed similar ways as well. You're free to dress how you want in America. But that doesn't not give me the right to be free to view you how I want to view you based on how you dress. If you dress as a police officer, I have the right to believe that you're a police officer for a living. Even if you dress up as a police officer during Halloween time, if it looks convincing enough, I can believe that, you know? And that's some of the questions I have. Like, some of these people in the industry don't really have respect for themselves. And I'm not saying they bring it upon themselves, but I just wonder if they're waiting for something to happen so they can get their big break. And I don't think that's the situation with Nicki in particular. But the Lauren situation, I don't know. I'm just side-eyeing her, and I'm going to keep my eye on that lawsuit to see how that happens. Are you all familiar with this video? Are you familiar with Lauren's lawsuit against Kanye West? What do you feel about this? Because, again, this isn't just about Diddy. This is about Kanye. In my last video, I told you, like, Diddy isn't acting alone. A lot of these celebrities, even the ones that haven't been named yet, it's going to be some pretty big news. I've talked to the publicist that was a part of the industry. And there was some names mentioned that we didn't put on video. And so I'm just curious to see how this is going to play out, because who knows, man? Maybe all of this is falling right in front of our eyes. Hop in the comment section, give me your thoughts, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for being here. Until next time. Peace.
Oh yeah, Diddy got a podcast.